Warning! This episode contains content not suitable for all audiences. We use explicit adult language and make jokes about sex and religion. By definition, the Ain't Normal podcast contains ableist language, but does not intend to imply that, quote, normal means, quote, good. Regretfully, this episode contains more ableist language and slurs than I would normally prefer. I don't want to censor my guest, and, at least in one instance during the extra innings, if you get to hear that portion, it provided some context for what I thought was an important conversation. Also, my guest forgot to mention his hashtag somewhere to find out more information about the things that he was promoting. That's hashtag somewhere on Facebook and social media. If careless language about weight control, and managing anxiety cause you harm, you'll want to skip this one. Otherwise, enjoy the show. This podcast was brought to you by Borzilla Entertainment, LLC. Borzilla, roar. Borzilla, roar. They strip search of all the children. And then we fucking leave.
You fuck and leave?
No, we...
I'm still tore up over her people.
Preacher would get so mad about, worrying about us fornicating.
We all try to get along.
My face ain't normal, it's a damn newspaper!
To get along.
Ain't normal. There's something odd in that.
We all try to get.
The hardest part for me to swallow
was the pastor.
Is
I woke up this morning and I packed a suitcase.
There's no normal life, White. It's just life. Get on with it.
All right, we are back at the Ain't Normal podcast. Our Ain't Normal guest today is Chris, the artist formerly known as Moo Moo Phillips. like we always do, we're going to give a disclaimer because, again, I realize that the title of this could be confused with saying that normal is good and ain't normal is bad or whatever. I'll just warn you, sometimes we're going to talk about some stuff that's tough to talk about, and if ableist language offends you, I appreciate you.
We're not going to talk about my penis.
Just finding another show. But, I get it, but I can't cater to everything. I just want to let you know that I'm not, should anything be ain't normal about you, we love you anyway.
Excuse me. Sorry.
All right, so we got Chris here today. I'm going to go ahead and assume we can put the explicit tag on this one.
You might as well. I mean, whatever questions you ask, don't ask the question if you don't want the answer.
That's right.
And there may be a fuck or two in there.
We'll put a explicit tag on this motherfucker for the episode. I think I'd just like to remind people to start with, we're going to have a Patreon before too long, so go on over to Patreon, give us some support. You'll get the full episodes, maybe even get them a day early. And any other little nuggets we have, pictures or stuff from people's childhood, whatever.
I'm leaving nuggets. I've got nuggets hid all over this place already.
We've got tasty nuggets. So yeah, that's going to be my pimp your shit moment. Is that we're going to have a Patreon eventually. Give us a 5-star review on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you listen to podcasts. And I'm going to let Chris introduce himself and pimp your shit, man. What you got going?
Well, my name is Chris Phillips. I've been doing stand-up for, over 20 years. Stage name has always been Moo Moo because that was a nickname from high school. It was a way of actually trying to be popular without actually getting laid. People knew who I was, but I never got laid from it. Well, I think most of it was because I don't think any girl ever wants to holler out, "Oh, Moo Moo." It's just, do you get what I'm saying? If y'all do, come talk to me. I can make it happen, but
there is a kink for whatever you're after. That is someone's exact thing they want to do. So hopefully this will get national, international broad. You may have some Scottish chicks that's like, "Moo Moo, I want you inside me."
Oh no, that would be interesting. They're redheaded. I dig gingers. They're soulless.
We're all soulless.
Well, that's probably true too. I was on a TV show called Billy Bob's Gags to Riches on Discovery Channel. We were the highest rated pilot in Discovery Channel's history. Oh, my bad. I got to get closer to the mic. Yeah. Oh, I just wonder. Y'all have to forgive me. I sort of space out from time to time. So if the microphone sounds like it's away from my mouth, I've wandered off into the kitchen to see if he's got any snacks in the refrigerator. But no, I was on a TV show called Billy Bob's Gags to Riches. I had a 8-year hiatus from stand-up in which I got married, and that was yeah. I'm divorced now. You can tell how well that went. And now we're opening a speakeasy in Anderson. Don't ask me where it's at because I'm not going to tell you. We can give you the riddle, but other than that, we're going to be doing stand-up shows there. I'm going to be bringing people in that I've known from all over the country. I even may have a few celebrity comics come through. My favorite part about this whole thing is the coolest places to be are always the places that you have to know about. Yep. It's not the places that's got the big signs out front, this, that, and the other. It's where all the cool kids hang out, and we're the cool kids, damn it.
Well, I mean, if you can create a culture, not everybody can do it, but if you can create a culture of exclusivity, like, hey, this is, you got to have an invite, you got to know about it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the whole thing is we don't want to there's a few assholes that ruin everything for everybody. We want to make another level before them assholes actually get in. And if they do get in, we'll have to deal with the assholes. And I just don't want to deal with assholes.
I gotcha. So, like you mentioned, you've been on TV. We talked before starting up today. You recovered from cancer.
Oh yeah, that's always fun. When I was filming the pilot for Billy Bob's Gags to Riches, we had done the pickups. I had been sick for about 4 or 5 months, but I'm over 400 pounds. I'm 35 years old. I'm a little sick. Yeah, I'm a little fatigued. Maybe it's because your fat ass is fat. That could have possibly been the reason why. And I was able to admit that, but then it went to the point to where when we were up there filming, I had bruises all over me really bad. I kept telling everybody my ex-wife was beating the shit out of me. That was fun to watch in the emergency room.
Yeah, people in healthcare, they don't like that.
I know, they have no sense of humor when it comes to
about domestic violence.
Not at all.
It's like, do we need to get a social worker involved?
Yeah, and when people see pictures of me, I'm not the guy who just automatically you think, he's going to get his ass.
Somebody's beating him up.
Yeah, I mean, so we were riding back from, we had an hour and a half ride back to St. Louis from the place we were filming at. Me, the sound guy, and the producers are making all really bad jokes about me being sick. We're Googling.
You got the AIDS. That's why you got those marks all over.
Yeah, exactly. So now we're Googling the symptoms, and they all keep coming back leukemia.
Oh, shit.
None of us thinks that I'm really fucking dying. You get what I'm saying?
Laughing about, I got leukemia.
My favorite thing is the producer keeps on looking at me and goes, okay, we're going to judge how sick you are. Okay? Oh, he goes, Moo Moo, on a scale between hospital and Waffle House, how sick are you? I always chose Waffle House. They thought I was fucking dying before I ever got on the plane. You realize that, right?
Oh, God.
So now I'm sitting in the airport, the terminal, and I'm spitting up blood. And all I'm thinking about is, oh, my God, I've just got to get home,
And now I'm on TV.
I know, right? The one time, all these years I've been trying to get on TV. Now, all of a sudden, I'm on TV. No. Cancer. So I'm sitting in the terminal, and I bought one of them bottled Cokes, and I had to pour it out and put it into a brown paper sack because I was scared if they knew how sick I was, they would have never let me on the plane because I was pretty sure that's how The Walking Dead started. Oh, do you get what I'm saying? So now I'm like, I finally get home. We go straight to the emergency room. First doctor comes in, does blood work. He looks at me, it's nothing that bad, He goes, comes back in a few minutes later. He goes, man, your white cell count is through the roof. He goes, but don't worry about it. You've been taking a lot of BC powders. it could be something autoimmune, idiopathic. I think he was just calling me a fucking idiot is what I think it was. But then about 20 minutes later, he come in and you could see tears welling up in the sides of his eyes. And then you had this guy come in with a big white lab coat on with big name on it, older guy. So you could tell he was fucking important, And he walks in, he's got this real somber look on his face. And I'm an asshole. I don't care what situation I'm in, I'm an asshole. This guy walks in and looks at me and goes, Mr. Phillips, does cancer run in your family? I was like, look at me, Doc. Nobody in my fucking family runs.
Nothing runs in my family.
I mean, it's the perfect hack joke. How many times do you get to use that hack joke in that situation?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Well, I know I met you, a few years back now, and, through mutual friends, and, TV show was already done, and it was right before they did the roast.
Oh, yeah.
So they did the roast, and, I actually wrote a couple of, jokes for Adam in that. It was,
nice.
It was, and of course, we'll get to the next thing we're talking about. It's, again, terrible. I'm first off, giving us a disclaimer and an apology pretty much for the show picking on Ain't Normal stuff, and my jokes were all just fat shaming jokes.
Oh, I mean, it wasn't like I didn't know I wasn't fat. It wasn't like I woke up one morning and went, oh my God, I have swollen up overnight.
I think it was something to the effect of you kicked cancer and got diabetes, or I don't know if that was his, or if we weren't done that together or something. But
my favorite joke that Adam hit me with that night I think it was Adam who hit me with that. Either that or it was Jack Warren. Was when I think the fat ate the cancer. That was my favorite joke out of all of it.
Yeah, I saw the one on your Facebook yesterday where it's like, hey, weed kills cancer. It's like, well, it didn't do a good job with it.
I know, right? That was the first thing Haley hit me with was, how the hell did you ever get cancer?
I saw that. I was like, hey, strong game there, Haley. That was pretty good. So,
and in case if y'all don't realize this now by that statement, I am a huge stoner. I love marijuana. I don't drink. So, I mean, I can honestly say, I've got one vice. I feel like, everybody goes, well, it's illegal. Yeah, getting fucked in the ass is illegal in some states, but women and gay guys still seem to like it.
On a technicality, those were all overturned in 2005.
Okay, well,
the federal,
my bad.
They're still on the books, but you can't be charged with it. But then again, the Supreme Court just really changed in the last couple of months. So,
oh yeah, so I mean,
come back up.
Wow, okay.
Everybody's Scalia now.
Oh yes.
So what are we gonna talk about? Ain't Normal today. I think we led into it there. Always the big guy, huh?
Yeah.
When did you realize? When were you first bigger than everybody else?
Oh my God, high school. It was my God. Going into 7th grade doing the football physicals, I was 210 pounds in 7th grade.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Then went through high school, played football, wrestled, got injured, and then got bigger. I tipped the scales at 315. My beginning of my senior year, and then I got really big into the gym. Lost down right after high school. My lowest weight I've ever weighed as an adult was 249.
Oh, wow.
I got all the way down to there, and then I started working third shift, and that shit went right out the window.
I feel you there right now.
Oh, God.
It's difficult
Oh, no, man. You talking about get hungry. Not
knowing when to eat.
Yes.
I mean, you can't really schedule it because it's I'm hungry when I get off work, and I'm hungry when I wake up.
Right. I mean, so there's no easy way about it. Plus, I'm not going to lie to you. I have a lot of emotions, and I ate all of my emotions.
Yeah, I hear you.
And so, it just got to the point, and then after the cancer, I'd gotten so weak, it was hard to get back in the gym, but then I had an experience where I couldn't lift something, and I had to get back my strength. So then I started trying to go to the gym, trying to do all the diets, went to the doctors, the bariatric clinic, all that kind of stuff to try to lose weight. No matter what I'd done, I could not lose weight. So now it just was what it was.
Yeah. So dealing with that in high school, that's I see now, especially you mentioned football and wrestling. I remember about 20 years ago, they started a shift in football players coming to college, they used to say 98, 2000, they wanted to get like 250 pounders, grow them up to 300 pounds to play offensive line.
Right.
Now they want them 350 and trim them down to 325. Like that's insane.
I mean, it's crazy because I'm not that tall. I'm 5'10".
Right.
So it wasn't like I was the
You
biggest
just have the frame to,
Yeah, I mean, it was
to begin with.
Yeah, and just the fact that I could still move, when I was doing stand up, professionally in my 20s, I would end my set doing the worm. I could move better than people half my size. My size was never an issue. I was always strong enough to move with it.
Right.
But now it had gotten to the point to where I just couldn't move. I was
too young to feel that old, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then, let's just be honest, the sex life went downhill, and I enjoy sex. So, other things had to change,
Yep.
So back in November of last year, I went ahead and done the gastric sleeve surgery.
Okay. Yep.
Now, what you have to understand about that too is they wanted me to be outside of chemo for 3 years before they would ever touch me.
Right.
So I had to be
So
complete.
you've been waiting it out.
Yes, I mean it wasn't like I was saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go get surgery." No, I had to do this whole freaking process to get through it, and now that I'm through it, I got through to on November 13th, I had the surgery, and as of today, I'm down over 130 pounds.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. I actually wore the shirt that I had to wear on Billy Bob's show. And if y'all ever, don't worry, I ain't expecting any of y'all to actually have seen the show. Not too many people did. But if you ever did see the show, you could see that the shirt was like 3 times too small for me. Now, it fits.
It fits. Awesome. It's even loose.
I know, right? That is awesome.
Yeah, I saw you, what was this, like the Monday before you had the surgery at that comedy, I guess, what was it?
Coffee Underground?
Yeah, the Coffee Underground. That night they had I don't know if you'd call it a festival or it was some spotlight night where they had like 5 or 6 comedians rather than having a open mic night.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, because you let me in.
Yeah.
You're like, I get a +1.
Yeah, you were coming in. I'm good with that.
So, you did a really funny set that night. And, it was like, I just felt bad because I was like, oh, he's doing this. Like, this is clearly like the outlet for your anxiety at that point.
Oh God, you have no, but that's what comedy is.
Of course.
And see, that's the biggest problem with me right now is trying to learn how to do stand-up again and not being the fat guy.
Oh, first of all, part of it, like, there's, and we can talk about this another time, but there's like part of a stereotype, oh, fat guys are funny, so you got an advantage starting out. Like, that only gets you in the door.
And even then, you can only do so many fatty fall down jokes.
Exactly.
It's and now I'm not a good writer. I can wing stuff.
Yeah.
And I can throw stuff out, but if I actually sitting down and writing, I'm not good at that.
Right. Well, now you're gonna have to come up with a whole new base.
I know, right? And that sucks.
You stop smoking weed, then your career's done.
Yeah, for real. But luckily, I will never stop smoking weed.
That's fair.
That's the one thing. I love that people go, well, you had the surgery. You don't still get the munchies? I'm like, yeah, I just don't act on them.
Yeah. Well,
because
you have to have, don't they make you, like, I don't know. I used to love to watch the Learning Channel. They have a bunch of 600-pound shows. Uh-huh. And I find them so inspirational because, like, I've always struggled with weight. I don't struggle with weight the way you struggle. I don't want to compare it, but, like, I was a fat little 14-year-old, and then I was skinny in high school, like almost anorexically skinny, until college, and I got up to like 170 pounds. Now I'd kill to be back down to 170 pounds. But, so I understand what that struggle's like. But, and so when I see those shows where like some kid loses 125 pounds over the summer, then I feel inspired. But like those 600-pound shows, like they're hit and miss. It's like either, they didn't do anything and the doctor's like, I'm not doing surgery, but you have to do certain things before the surgery, right? Do you have to prove that you're eating right, or does it?
Well, here's the thing. This is what I done. I knew I wanted to have the surgery a year before I could have the surgery.
Right.
So what I done is I went and done research and found out all the stuff that people were talking about they would have to do as far as the diets they would have to do, how you would have to eat afterwards, workouts, all this kind of stuff. Not only that, when you first started going to the doctor for the surgeon for the surgery, he would want you to go to another doctor for so long to prove that you're trying to lose weight under a doctor's care, all this kind of stuff, right? So I went ahead and done that my year before I ever met the surgeon.
Yeah.
I done all my stuff up front because, why am I going to go talk to the surgeon? He's going to tell me, oh, I can't touch you till another year. Okay, I'll do all the stuff I'm supposed to do. Yeah. That way when I come in, look, I've been fat long enough.
Yeah.
Cut my stomach, get this shit out of me, and let's get on with the process.
That's a good way to do it.
So, when I went in, they basically wanted to make sure that you were actually, committed to doing the surgery as far as the lifestyle, because it's a huge lifestyle change.
I imagine so.
The fun part is they make you go to a psychiatrist.
I'm sure they do. Because, they got to make sure that you're going to be fit to handle it.
So I had to go to 2 psychiatrists.
Okay.
The first psychiatrist, I failed horribly.
Oh, no.
I told you, I'm an asshole. This psychiatrist looked at me and says, do you think you have a problem with overeating?
Look, no, I'm oblivious.
I couldn't handle it. I went off for like 45 minutes telling this chick. Basically told her how stupid she was because she asked that damn question. Why do you ask a 455-pound damn man, do you have a problem with eating? No.
Because there's probably some 500-pounders coming there. No, I don't hardly eat anything. It's like, well, no point in working on this guy.
Oh my God. Don't ask me dumbass questions and then expect me not to be a smart ass back. So I failed the first one horribly. She said that I was nowhere near fit to do all this. So I had to go to and play nice at another one. He actually, approved me to go through it, cleared me and everything for it. But the thing is, guys, if y'all do consider this, please, 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 I'm telling you, coming from a smart ass and an asshole, I'm 9 months out. I'm going to tell you, this will screw with your head so bad because the way people perceive you comes across completely different. If you're anything like me, I've always been overweight. Now, look, it's not like that I'm like skinny now.
No.
But people who knew me and see me now don't even hardly recognize me.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's like I'm getting a chance to do a first impression with people all over again.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily, even from when I met you, if I didn't know you from the whole time through.
Yeah. If
I saw you now, I might not recognize you because your hair was different. Like,
yeah,
you were 100 pounds or more.
Yeah.
Heavier.
It was
like, and you don't want to, like, just be like, oh, there's another big guy. That must be Moo Moo. Because being big and having some friends that are big, you get mistaken for each other. It's, oh, this person only sees me as fat.
Right. Well, to me, I never looked at it like, yeah, look, I know my personality. It's hard to fucking miss me.
Yeah.
Okay. I can be quiet in the corner and just observe and everything else when I want to. But by God, if I want you to know who the hell I am, you're going to know.
Yeah, eventually you're going to be styling and profiling, or not styling and profiling. You're going to be doing the fashionable Dusty Rhodes voice.
Oh, yes. I'll stop it, babies. Yes. We're going to break this down like this, babies. Sometimes you got to walk with the walk, babies.
But some of us got to, like, I've heard people that I think had just been introduced to you and somebody be like, oh, well, you know who you remind me of? You remind me of Chumley. And I was like, Moo Moo should just smash that fucking person.
But honestly, that's how I got the TV show.
Yeah. You're a Chumley type.
Right. And at some point you have to learn, if you want to, sometimes you got to learn with, if people's going to stereotype you, run with the stereotype. Don't, if it's going to make you money and get you where you want to go, run with the stereotype. Yeah. It's just at the point I'm at now, I could no longer carry the weight. I could no longer be the stereotype.
Oh, yeah.
Something had to, Because I was so scared. I was like 5 pounds away from not being able to walk.
Yeah, 455s. That's carrying a load.
Yeah.
Like I said, not on a real big frame to begin with.
Honestly, I don't see how I was moving as well as I was.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of it was just me doing pure will going, I'm not going to be the fat guy that can't get out of the house.
Yeah.
I refused to be that guy. I did. I fucking refused. When I came out from the first day I got out of the hospital after the cancer, I was so weak, and we had to stop by Walmart to get groceries on the way home. And I went in just because I hadn't been out.
Got to get out of this car.
I've got to get out. I've got to get out, right? I've got to be around other people just to. I fucking refused to get into one of those little
the scooter, the
scooter.
rascal.
I would not get in that. I was out of breath by the time we got it. I could barely move. Our legs were sore. I thought my knees were gonna break under me, but there was no fucking way I was gonna be the fat fucker in the rascal. I know what I say when I see people like that, and I am one of them.
Yeah. Well, I think even for skinny people, being sedentary is the worst thing you can do. It's like, even like Bill Burr's got a bit about the old guy who, like, they always have the old guys have the look on their face. It's like that look on the face is when they're sitting next to their wife and they're like trying to get away from them. They realize yesterday was the last day they had the quad strength to get off the couch.
Yeah.
But like that's when you start getting dementia and everything else is when you're not moving. Like a lot of people have vascular dementia issues because they're not moving around. They're not getting as good a blood flow because they just stay put. And, the best thing anybody can do is if you're not walking, at least be standing. You know?
I mean, I couldn't do it no more. I mean, and it was to the point I couldn't will it past anymore.
Yeah, you needed some help.
Right. I mean, and it takes a lot for somebody like me to go, okay, I tap.
Yeah.
I can't beat this on my own. I mean, there was, I mean, I could do the thing. And what was the jacked up part is I could lose 25, 30, even 40 pounds and then gain all of it back and then lose it again.
Yeah. It was yo-yo and
it was right there. But I never broke under 400 pounds. So even during cancer, dude.
Yeah.
I was still at my lowest weight during that. I was 419.
Jesus.
I blew up over 500 pounds with the water gain and swelling. You get what I'm saying? I mean, at one point, I looked like Pearl, the record keeper from Blade. I mean, and when you see yourself like that, it's hard. I mean, like when I got a divorce, everybody's like, your wife left you 2 weeks before chemo. It's so fucked up. I don't hold her responsible because I was there. I seen me.
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody could have been attracted to me or even want. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, let's just, everybody go, oh, it's fucked up. Yeah, it's fucked up because I went through it and I was destroyed by it. But looking back at it, I go,
Well, no, I mean, I've had breakups and there, you feel like, oh, that altered my life. That changed my perspective in a not good way. On the other hand, the kindest thing you can do to someone if you don't want to be with them anymore is to leave them.
Yeah, I mean, and so I mean, now the way she done it was fucked up. She moved another dude into the house.
Yeah,
all
that's
that
kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, I mean, if you knew me before the cancer and you know me now, look, my attitude. Do I look like I would be the kind of guy that would just let that pass? I mean, I don't care how big he was, how much of a badass. Do I look like the guy?
This motherfucker in my house.
Dude, it was so jacked up. It was my weakest point. Even if I'd have hit the dude, I knew he'd have beat my ass. And he was a puss.
Yeah.
He was a puss. It would have been like getting beat up by the retarded kid.
Oh,
and I mean, and I'm sorry, okay.
Normal doesn't like to.
Okay, I get it, I apologize. But you get what I'm saying. It would be like the kid that you knew you shouldn't hit.
Yeah, and then they just wail on you.
Yes, and then they wear you out. It's like a no-win situation. So I got stuck in that, and it was horrible. But now it's actually everything is starting to work out. I mean, you know, we've got a place that's getting ready to be open. If we can ever get past bureaucracy,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I'm actually seeing somebody new now, and
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
All right, so
great.
you mentioned support.
Okay.
So look, to get as big as you got, there had to be a couple of things in play. Either you have to have enablers, or you have to have people that just like nobody ever checks in with you and be like, "Hey, man, dude, like, do you feel like you got better support now? There are people like, or do you go in and somebody's like, "Hey, man, let me get you a Coke, let me get you a slice of cake," or
Here's the thing. I don't necessarily. I don't put anything off on enablers. It was me. I refuse to go. That's how other people deal with their.
That's the only way you can really have any success is to handle everything yourself. On the other hand, it's a lot easier to handle when everybody's like, "Hey, you know what? We will go to this restaurant that doesn't, you know."
And see, I don't do
as
that.
Opposed to like, "Hey, let's go to Chili's. Fuck Moo Moo's weight loss. Let's just."
No, and even now, I mean, I still do the same things I did.
Yeah.
It's just I have to make better choices.
Right.
You can't, when you get mindset, you have to look at yourself in the mirror. Look, dude, there was times I would go when nobody else knew to Golden Corral or China Buffet or somewhere like that. Just me. Over in the corner.
Nobody will be in there today.
Yeah, over in the corner. I knew. Look, it was so bad. I even knew exactly when to go to the Chinese food buffet when nobody would be there, and I could pay the lunch price and get the dinner menu.
There is a John Panette routine in this. You remember John Panette?
Oh God, yeah. Oh, big boy, you come here. You stay here for an hour.
Why are you here for an hour?
No, I mean, I was the living epitome of that. I mean, it was one of those things. I knew that I could go into one of those places where nobody was there, and nobody would know how much I ate. Yeah. And then it would get one of those things to where I would get working on a project like we're doing here, and wouldn't even think about food. And this would go for days.
Yeah,
I'd be, and would not. I know people think that sounds funny, but it's not.
No, I get it entirely because if I were, you know, right now I spend a lot of time around the house. I'm in school again. I basically sleep, work, and school.
Right.
And if I can leave the house, I go hiking, or not really hiking. I just do the waterfall trails around here. I spend all day out. I don't think about food. I go play, you know, do anything with some of my friends. Play some music. I don't think about food at all. But if I'm just sitting around the house and I have food in the freezer, in the pantry, and I'm an anxious person. Like, my anxiety makes me eat. Any emotion, joy makes me eat. Sorrow makes me eat. Anger makes me eat.
Oh yeah,
anger not as much as the others.
Oh, you're naming it. You're naming it all. I'd get into a project and would forget to eat for a day and a half, 2 days. But then, when I finished and everything started settling down, I would look around and go, "Holy shit!
I gotta eat.
I ain't ate in 2 days. I'm eating everything in sight." Not only that, I could get depressed and have a bad day at work or something like that, man. I would stop by Dollar General.
Yeah.
And look, sugar and sweets are cheap at Dollar General.
Oh, yeah.
I'd go in there and buy a $20 bag of stuff and ate it all that night. Not counting the meal that I was going to eat when I got home, too. But the $20 bag of sweets and snacks and stuff like that. So I never really gave my body a chance to actually, you know, even when I was the year before that, I was trying to lose weight. When I would cut that out for, you know, I'd cut it out for 3.5, 4 months at a time, but I could never go under 4. And just seeing that and being so discouraged.
Well, yeah, because, you know, you lose 100 pounds, you're still a really big guy.
Oh, I got to lose a linebacker to be a lineman, is what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I mean, I've lost over 130 pounds so far, but I'm not even under 300 pounds yet.
Right.
I'm still 322 pounds.
Is it getting tiring yet? People asking you how much weight you lost?
Yes, that's been one of the, and see, when you say tiring, I get what you're but I'd never want to discount somebody being genuinely interested in giving the compliment. I never want to be that dick. But, after so long of going, I've lost over 130 pounds.
Yeah.
I've lost over 130 pounds. It makes, in my head, it starts making me go, well, I've only lost 130 pounds.
Or you're like, I've been saying 130 a long time. I'd really like to say 140.
Yes.
But I wish, people would quit asking me till I could say 140.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. I mean,
that's everything. And well-intending people do so much harm inadvertently, and I'm no better than any of them. Like if you ever got something big on the horizon, when I was trying to get into grad school the first time, talked to my parents once a week, and the only thing I didn't want to talk about was whether or not I was accepted into grad school yet, and the only thing that they wanted to ask about was, have you heard anything from the grad school? And it becomes, like, for people with anxiety like you and I have, it becomes just a nightmare. Because you get to avoiding people because you're like, I don't want to question.
Because you to me, it's like, I don't want to let anybody down.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest issues, is even when I go into anything. Look, I am a master at fucking up. Okay? Yeah. I am a complete fuck up all the time. But I want to do a good job. If somebody expects me to do something, or I tell somebody I'm going to do something, I really want to go through with that and make it right.
Yeah.
But knowing that, I'm a fuck up. I know in the back of my head, somewhere along the lines, I'm going to fuck something up. Okay? Now, I'm just waiting on the inevitable day that I lose my shit and try to eat everything in sight. I've lost it a few times and tried that and tried to cheat. And trust me, when your stomach is
terrible,
when your stomach is no longer the size of a basketball and it went down to the size of a golf ball, try it once.
What is overeating? Like, you don't want, obviously, you don't want to break anything, but like what's enough that it makes you uncomfortable?
I could never eat a normal plate at a restaurant anymore.
Right.
If I go to a restaurant, I won't do the thing where I try to eat off the kids' meal.
No.
They give you those little cards and it's like, oh, you can go to a fancy restaurant and eat off the kids' meal. Bullshit. I'm going to go eat
take 3 bites out of my piece of chicken.
I'm going to take my 3 bites out of my piece of chicken or a piece of steak. But you know what? I'm going to box that motherfucker up. I'm going to take it home, and guess what? I got 4 more damn meals.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying?
I got a freezer.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know when it comes to stuff like that. Like the other day, I thought I was going to be sneaky, and I love how, I don't know if when other people have this kind of surgery, I don't know if it's them that does this themselves, but me, I try to outsmart myself and sneak myself around and eat stuff that I ain't supposed to. You get what I'm saying? So there was a piece of strawberry cake. I don't think you understand. I eyeballed this one piece of strawberry cake among many other pieces of strawberry cake for about 3 hours.
Oh.
I was like, nope, I ain't gonna do it. I keep on walking, do my thing, keep on walking. That 3rd hour, it was like, nope, I'm gonna eat them. I'm a grown fucking man. I can eat what I want to. Ain't nobody gonna tell me I can't eat what I want. Grown fucking man. I ain't ate no sweets in months. I'm gonna eat that piece of strawberry cake. I ate that piece of strawberry cake, dude. Moment I got the last bite down.
Ugh.
All back up. All back up. I threw up shit that I ain't ate in 2 years.
Oh, God.
Do you get what I mean? So to me now, the reward versus that.
Well, yeah, that might have been a conditioning experience.
Yeah, I mean,
like, if I eat another piece of cake, I know what's coming.
Yeah, I mean, so now I can't do it anymore. When you're asking about what is overeating, it's not just about the amount.
Yeah,
it's even about what it is.
If it's pure sugar,
right?
Pure fat, it's probably not easy on you.
Right. I mean, only thing, my diet basically now, I know this is funny for me, more especially knowing how I used to eat. My diet now consists of salmon, steak, chicken, cucumbers, onions, and tomatoes.
That's really not bad. It sounds good if you can get your habits to that. Like I noticed this growing up as a kid. I'd eat. We never ate anything really junky. Like Saturday, might have a frozen pizza or something. But most of the time it's like lean turkey burgers.
Right.
A lot of times it wasn't even on buns, just like that with onions and a lot of vegetables. My mom can't just make like 2 vegetables. My mom would never open a meat in 3. She would open a meat in 6.
Nice.
Or 2 meats in 6.
I need to hang out with your mom.
It's like I've got giblet gravy and I've got turkey and I've got dressing. I've also got green beans and black eyed peas and corn and I got some okra and I'm like, Jesus, a meat in 3 would be fine. Like you got 6 meats and 17 vegetables on the table for 3 people.
Well, like that when I was growing up, where you say it was lean stuff, it wasn't for us.
Yeah.
It was fried everything.
We have fried chicken on Wednesday nights. We'd have spaghetti one night a week, and that would have some sugar in it. But, me and my dad both, we can overeat,
Right.
Like, I mean, he's a little, like, if you saw him now, he's like 160 pounds, 5'8". I was down to 170 back in 2011 for the last time I was in there. But, like, growing up, I weighed like 150, 160. Mm-hmm. Now if I ain't pulling 220, I'm pushing it, So it's easy right now for me to overeat. But the hard part is the day-to-day grind, if you get to it, is easy. Like, because what you're talking about eating, there's not a ton of flavor. I think Bill Burr has the joke about if I was blindfolded and you stuck an apple under my nose, I wouldn't even know it was there. But I can smell a KFC from 6 miles away.
And
if you eat KFC, all you want to do is spend the rest of the night eating KFC.
And that's the thing, is stuff like that makes me sick, the smell of it now.
Oh, good.
I mean,
that's kind of a good thing.
No, I mean, it's the same reason when I told y'all I don't drink. It's the same reason I don't drink. I hate the taste of alcohol, and I used to have to drink so much, so fast to get a buzz. So by the time I got to the buzz, the other 12 shots that I had taken and 6 mixed drinks hadn't even kicked in yet. Okay.
Catching up.
I mean, I was in St. Cloud, Minnesota one time doing a show up there, and they got the great idea they were going to see how drunk they could get me on stage.
Yeah.
So within the first 15 minutes, they had sent 9 shots, and it was like 4 mixed drinks, and I drank all of it. So at the end of a 45-minute set, they started sending more drinks, hollering encore. So I done Richard Pryor's Mudbone verbatim for the next 5 minutes, which was, then I got kicked out of that club about 2 hours later because I was throwing up in the bathroom, which I thought was completely bullshit. I made it to the bathroom. I didn't make a mess.
Oh, that sounds like fraternity life. The first fraternity party I went to is like they forced me to like drink, and I was never in a fraternity. It's just somebody was having a party.
Right.
It's like they come in, they're like, "You ever play Anchorman? Do you know Anchorman?" It's like basically 4 teams of 4. And the last guy has to drink what everybody else hasn't drunk yet. So I got to be the Anchorman in 2 games of Anchorman. And then they kick me out because I was too drunk. It's like, you think?
Yeah.
You think, buddy? I just drank 2 gallons of beer.
But what's the bad part about it is it was in the middle of February in Minnesota. I had on shorts and a T-shirt and thought it was a great idea to walk back to the hotel a mile away across the Mississippi River.
Oh, yeah. I bet that wind coming off the Mississippi was fun.
Well, not only that, the drunk stagger walk? Yeah, I nearly hit 3 cars by doing the stagger walk out into... I'm an idiot. That's the reason there's certain things I can't do.
That would have totaled those cars.
Oh, I know, right? It'd been like hitting a deer. Oh, it would have been horrible.
Oh, man. There was something else I was trying to get back to, but I can't remember what it was.
Oh, my bad.
No. It was because I wanted to hear the story. I know what it was. Do you feel like there's a change in energy level now, or you feel like that you get a boost and then you plateau, or what's going on with that?
The energy level is going really big, as far as the energy wise, but now that the energy has gotten so much more, I'm pushing out more.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So it's like if you ever drive a car at 35 miles an hour, it feels normal.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you get on the road to where you're doing 55. Oh, 55 is normal now.
Yeah.
Then you get on the interstate.
So the more you do, the more you feel like you gotta do.
Yes. And then, even then, it's like you go, well, man, the energy level is plateauing. I don't have as much. No, I wasn't doing nowhere near the shit
Yeah, now you're actually legitimately getting tired from doing shit rather than just from being.
Right. So it's a hard gauge, and more especially when people start asking about this. Look, the physical changes is not the hard part.
Yeah.
It's the psychological changes, because I'm still manic as all get out. I'm anxious all the time. And the whole reason I do stand-up comedy is to give that an outlet, right?
Yeah.
So now all the ways I knew how to get rid of stuff, whether it be eating, any of that kind of stuff, all that's gone. Yeah. I'm having to rewrite how I do stand-up. I'm having to relearn how to eat. And it's not like when I get nervous now, I'm just fucking nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no escape.
It's not like I'm nervous and scarfing down a hoagie. I'm just nervous.
The other thing is it's almost like the level of weight I go down. It's the stuff that I'm having to re-deal with that I buried.
Oh, yeah.
So all them psychological issues all the way through the years that, when I ate about 14 cheeseburgers at one time that I wasn't supposed to, and I gained 50 pounds, as that 50 pounds is coming off, the stuff that I was running from then, I'm having to deal with now.
Yeah.
So
I guess so. Now your outlets, one of your outlets is gone, so it's just like being addicted to anything else. It's like an addict just, now this is where I would run to crack, or this is where I run to cheeseburgers. Shit, I gotta deal with this.
And all my life, I've never wanted to admit that I was an addict in any kind of way. But when it comes to food and my weight, I mean, it's sort of hard not to say, maybe you're addicted to food.
And food is something you have to have.
Yes.
I mean, one thing, the way food addiction is handled and the way people call it food addiction, I'm not sure how, I don't know if that's a DSM 4 or 5 manual, diagnosis or not. But it's kind of like sexual addiction. Like, I don't know that your problem is with food. You know?
Right.
And you're probably thinking, no, my problem's not with food. Food's fine.
Yeah, because I could always get it.
But they always, you hear people all the time talk about like sex addiction. You know who diagnoses people with sex addiction?
Sex addicts?
Usually it's their wife or their pastor.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's not in the DSM manual for diagnosing mental illnesses.
Huh.
So what might be the underlying problem is anxiety, depression, those kinds of things. And this just like a poor outlet is
right.
Fucking around with hookers, raw dogging it.
Yeah.
Bringing diseases home to your wife.
Well,
masturbating 10 times a day watching porn. Those things might be just a bad outlet for anxiety rather. And the same thing would be like going to Golden Corral and finding a booth by yourself and just scarfing down everything. And that's an anxiety, not really wanting to deal with what's on your plate. God knows I feel that. I ate a sleeve of Pringles today, and yesterday was my cheat day. Yesterday was my cheat day. I woke up this morning and had a big omelet. A girl I knew 20 years ago came into town. She's like, "Hey, you want to go do lunch?" I'm like, "Mexican food." Then I came home and finished it off with one of the whole sleeves of Pringles right before you got here. So,
but does it not irritate you? You can see people like, I love when girls talk about, I'm stress eating.
Yeah.
You're 115 pounds.
Oh yeah.
And you've ate,
well, they can.
do you get what I'm saying? You've ate this much. Barely anything. And, oh my God, I'm stressing. No, you want to talk about stress eating? Follow me a year ago.
Yeah. I
could show you all about stress eating.
Yeah, and I feel like it gets worse with time because I remember, when I was smaller, it's a very clear difference. I love the people who say, "Well, I don't eat anything." I understand your metabolism slows down when you get bigger, and at a certain point, you cannot eat anything almost and still gain weight.
Right.
But every time I've gained weight, like I remember 20 years ago, me and my girlfriend would split a Papa John's large pizza.
Right.
And that would be it for supper.
Right.
Now, if I were to order pizza, I'd order a large and some breadsticks, and I'd eat all of that by myself.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, I can't deny that I'm eating more now that I'm bigger.
And that's the thing, and it's like it starts snowballing.
Yep.
And once it starts snowballing, it's so hard to even remotely get a control of. And then even when you do get a control over it and you start going back the other way, you start losing a little weight, it's like the world is going to punch you in the face like Rocky Balboa had said. nothing's going to hit you harder than life, and then
I find it hard I live here by myself, and it's like cooking for one. It's not economical it's more economical to cook a lot and then freeze little bits or something.
Yeah.
But my problem is I don't feel full. I'll eat a helping, and before I've got that full feeling and I think I should just freeze all of this. Once I'm done with what I first eat, I'm like, I can eat more. And I just keep eating, and then it's like, oh shit, everything that I planned for the week is now gone, and it's still Sunday.
It's a real interesting dynamic when you're having to deal with that stuff, because there's been a lot, like over the past 8 months, I've had so many things that's hit me in the face that I would normally go do the thing for as the Golden Corral, the Chinese food thing, and all over, and be all in my head.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore. So now I'm having to work out.
Yeah, it's like you got to find a different outlet.
Yes,
yeah.
I mean, it is so weird to be 40 years old and trying to do that. Not only that, is people don't look at me like I'm 40 years old, because apparently I don't look 40, and I definitely don't fucking act 40.
Yeah, I got a lot of that too, because like neither one of us have the crow's feet. We act like children.
Yeah.
And like my hair was getting way too light recently. I just like, fuck it, I'm dyeing it. I'm not ready. So now my hair is like a nice light brown again, and it's like, yeah. So I really, I'm not kidding myself that I look like I'm in my 20s or anything, but people are usually surprised when I tell them what my age is, except for, I'm referencing shit before they were born.
Yeah, that's the other thing is, being divorced, going through this, now all of a sudden I'm starting to get attention from women that I never got attention from before, which is really weird because they're younger and a lot more attractive than what I'm used to dealing with.
Yeah.
And, I still turn into Goofy when an attractive woman even speaks.
See, I wish that still happened. I think in the past, oh God, I don't even want, I hesitate to even say this, especially with a permanent record of it. Of course, there's the power of editing it out. Like, it's been a while since I was infatuated. Like, you see someone else,
yeah.
But I'll say in the past year, there was one person where it was like, every time I was around him, I'd like, make a reason to go talk to him or whatever. Right. But, but like, that used to be every week it was somebody new. You know, when you're young and all the emotions are like really, all the hormones are keyed up and everything. Now it's just like, been burned a few times. It's like, not worth it. But then you see some, every once in a while it's like, this is kind of what it, but it's still not the same as it was before.
Now here's the issue. Going through the weight loss, remember, I'm having to deal with all the shit that I was dealt with before. So the rejections I dealt with before, even when I'm rejected now, I'm having to deal with them completely differently. And with me dealing with them completely differently, apparently I'm attracting other attention from other women by not handling it wrong. And all of a sudden now these women, and I'm going, hey, oh my God, this shit is working. I don't know how I've done that. I feel like, and then of course I screw it up by speaking, because I say something and stick my foot in my mouth, and that whole thing goes away. But the whole idea that it could happen again is awesome.
Oh yeah, it's a very it's one of those things where there's some negatives to it, but it's even if you get rejected, if you get something doesn't work out, like the fact that you were in the game.
I know, and that's what I keep telling everybody. I'm glad you brought that up because that's one of my biggest things. I don't care. I've had financial issues. I've had confrontational issues, stuff like that over the past year, and I keep thinking to myself, there's nothing y'all can do that scares me.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. And because I'm still in the game. I'm just happy I'm still in the game.
Yeah.
I had a rare form of cancer, APL leukemia. I had, 8 years before that, I had diverticulitis and I had 8 inches or 11 inches taken out of my colon.
Jesus.
They flatlined me with the pain medicine there. Before that, I've had 3 suicide attempts. now that I'm losing weight, the actual scars are actually starting to show.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, me being at 40 and being able to sit here and talk to you about stuff like this,
Yeah.
brother, I'm in the game.
Yeah, you're still here.
They ain't nothing. I'm like a cockroach. You get what I'm saying? I mean, it's going to be me and Keith Richards after the Russians drop the nuke. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen.
All right. Well, I think we've hit a limit here. We can go into extra innings. So anything past this point will be for the patrons once we have some.
And guys, do me a favor. If y'all do the following the hashtag stuff, the hashtag is hashtag somewhere, because believe me, baby, everybody wants to be somewhere.
Okay, that does it. Thank you for listening. Thanks to Chris for giving us his Ain't Normal story. And thanks to Analog Heart for allowing us to use their music for our intro and outro. Check them out on the music players and go see them if you get a chance. If you liked our show, please drop by and give us a 5-star review or rating on iTunes, Stitcher, or whatever podcast listening app you use. Contact us on Facebook at facebook.com/ain'tnormalpodcast, on Twitter at @normalain't, or send us an email at ain'tnormalpodcast@gmail.com. No apostrophes necessary for any of those. We will be posting about it in the future, so be on the lookout for our Patreon if you want to hear the rest of this interview and all the other bonus material. This podcast has been brought to you by Brazilla Entertainment LLC, all rights reserved, 2018.
I never realized before, but everything that I do is carefully calculated just for you. I've shied away from bangs and I've taken off all of my favorite rings, specifically 'cause I know that you're not into those things. I can't remember what I like. You got to me throughout my life. These thoughts I'm thinking, baby, aren't even mine. This torch, it burns for me this time. It ain't easy to reclaim what you've never had.
WKRP in Cincinnati. I need to hang out with your mom.
That's a wrap, motherfucker.